In the bottom right, folks, in the blue, the last hope, the last dream of Kaizi Gaming, the reigning world champion, Oliveira, for the second time. And in the upper left, in the red, the greatest Protoss that North America has produced. It's Neeb. And technically, the greatest Terran that North America has produced as well, because the little fire truck Terran, Neeb, moves to Protoss, becomes, at times, the best player in the world, the first foreigner to ever win a tournament in Korea since Gur back in Brood War. And, or maybe Kerr? Something like that. I think it was Gur. And, you know, honestly, he was one of the best players in the world this summer before he stopped practicing as much to go to school. Even still, he was one map away from qualifying to the playoffs of Katowice. He was 2 maps away from topping his group. Obviously, they had to be judiciously placed maps, but still, 2 maps away from topping his group. And that feels bad. But no, he played very well, and he 2-1 Oliveira. This is actually the first, I want to, no. Harstem played Oliveira and didn't take a map, but we saw some interesting things. We saw we saw Colossus expand out of Harstem. That didn't really work out because Oliveira played greedy as hell and it just didn't work at all. But, so this is like the second TVP we've seen in the WTL. Yeah, I'm aware, Viperino, and that Oliveira lost to Neeb at Katowice. You know why I'm aware of it? I cast the games. They were good games too, but especially considering the fact that Protoss was very much hurting in TVP at Katowice. The maps aren't great. Wait, did Neeb dodge the Widowmine shot? No, okay, no. Adept will fall, but even still, Oliveira has been locked out of his own natural for a little bit as the second Adept is going to join the fray. Now, 3 Marines are enough technically to beat an Adept, but when the second one joins, it gets a little bit spookier. Yes, it was Steadfast Nye that cast Oliveira versus Neeb. But anyways, so for now, Neeb has done a good job of delaying the mining of Oliveira's natural for just a little bit. Now Oracle tries to dive in the main base. Cyclone's in the natural though, and well, also Neeb knows that there's a Widowmine on the field. He doesn't know where it is, so he just gets revelation, and oh, Oliveira, he's hunting. Oh no, he's gonna get scattered out. He doesn't have stim. He's not really gonna find it, but now he's pushing across the map. He's got a Cyclone, he's got Marines, and this build, by the way, that he's gone for, just a bunch of early game stuff. This is gonna be dead Oracle very quickly. One more shot, there we go. This is so good against Oracle into Phoenix. Now, straight Phoenix, maybe you have enough Phoenix to get the proper lifts. But Oracle into Phoenix here, it becomes much more problematic. Widowmine's going to get lifted, but that's just going to be a dead Phoenix here. And you need the Phoenix to make sure you're able to defend. There's a second lift, sure, but that's going to be a second. Well, actually, no, he's just going to target down the nascent static defense. And now the probes have to get pulled here. Oliveira with just the killer instinct here in this game number 1. And the Cyclones, hey, look, they're going to show up. There's a second one. Phoenix cannot contest. This 9 probes go down. And the Cyclones take very, very little damage whatsoever. Yeah, their Phoenix getting chronoed out, but you just target them down. Yes. Well, okay, that's a dead Cyclone, but you trade a Phoenix for it. 10 probes to fall in, and now here comes the Liberator as well. So the Stalkers cannot contest. They cannot join. And I feel like I almost don't hate dropping a Mule. And that sounds crazy, but the Cyclone is so low, but it's so important to this push where you drop a Mule, you bring it back up to full. It means you can protect the Liberator much easier. But even still, Oliveira, he got what he came for. He killed 10 probes, put a little pressure on the third base, but again, importantly, dropped 10 probes, and now he's going to back up. You know, he's got another Cyclone here, which means these Phoenix are not going to do much of anything whatsoever. Good lock-ons on both of them, and that allows Oliveira to find his way back to his natural, back to his production where he can repair the very, very wounded Cyclone, the very, very wounded Medevac, and go from there. So behind this, folks, Stim should be on the way soon enough. +1. There we go. There's Stim. +1 done as well, or on the way as well. And this is just turning into a 3-1-1. But it's a 3-1-1 where Neeb is only up 2 workers on Oliveira at 6 minutes into this game. This is a 3-base Protoss, folks, against a 2-base Terran. And the economy is not good. That's what happens when you lose 10 workers to a push like that. And a couple Phoenix. Now, Oliveira's he's gonna turtle up for a minute. Not on the idea that he's turtling up for forever. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought this. I said 3-1-1. Wow, there's gonna be, you know, into with. No. This is a 5 racks all in coming in from Oliveira, trying to capitalize on A, the fact that this is a Phoenix opener, and B, the damage that he got done. So he's gonna have a lot more Marines than Neeb may be expecting, and that has been one of the downsides. That was really the big downside of Neeb's TVP play in Katowice. He got himself good positions in the early game. Obviously, not in a great position here. But he got himself in. He had incredible holds against Kira in the early game. And then he just drastically misread the game. He probed up massively, over-probed. He didn't build enough defense. And then he just lost the game. And there we go. Oliveira pulling the SDVs. He's got the read. And now we're going to have to find out whether it's going to be enough. He's up 20 army supply. And it's against Charge Lots. Charge is done, sure. Armor's going to be done in 13 seconds. But Charge Lots against a bunch of Zealots. The Marines... The Charge Lots just can't get through the SDVs. And there we go. Liberator in the main base as well. Neeb has so many fires to put out right now. He was once known as the Fire Truck Terran, but he's a Protoss now, and he doesn't have quite the same ability. But Zealots coming in from every side here. Widowmine's knocked down a lot of it, though. The Phoenix are doing what they can. Zealots are just starting to fall, and that is going to do it. Oliveira stays alive. Neeb goes down. Now he's dead. But what he can do is force Oliveira out of this game and still secure Onsyde into the next round. All right, so here we are. Oliveira in the upper right. He's got one shot, one opportunity. He has to win this game to give himself a shot to force us into an ace match by taking one map in the next series. And on the bottom left in the red, he's just got to win a map. That's all he's got to do. For Onsyde Gaming, folks, it's Neeb. Sherlock 8409. These games were played like 11 o'clock this morning, something like that. The play day started at 5 a.m. Eastern, so earlier today. So Neeb tried, adapt Harass into Oracle, into Phoenix, and, well, Oliveira just went for the Cyclone build and got a lot of damage done. What does Neeb go for in this game? Again, he doesn't have to win a series. He doesn't have to 2-0. He just has to win a single map. Like, that is his job going into this. Just one build, one opportunity to end this game, to end this series, to force Onsyde onto a date with Psystorm tomorrow. Game 1 didn't work. He just played a macro game. It didn't work out super well. But does Neeb have something in store for us? Oh, absolutely not, Sherlock. I think what we're finding out is Oliveira, like, his lack of form was several things. You know, one of it was, again, he was not able to go to lands for like 2 years because of the zero COVID policy in China. And one of it was, I think, I'm not even going to say lack of confidence, but not like champion confidence. He got such a level up at Katowice when he took down literally the #1 player in the world 3 times in a row, the #1 Zerg, Protoss, and Terran. Yes, Cyril could be considered the #1 Zerg too, but I think at Katowice, Reynor was the #1 Zerg. You do that, you know. You take down those players in the manner that he did. That is just such a confidence boost that I think that is what is making the difference right now. Oliveira has always had the tools to be one of the best players in the world. We've seen his macro games. He 3-2'd Maru, I think, at one point back in a long time ago in a tournament. Like, he's always had the potential. But he's just never quite had the, I don't know, the mindset maybe, I think is what we're learning. And now that he certainly has that mindset, I mean, he's just looking killer. We watched his Katowice run. We've watched the games that he's been playing here today. And the game just seems to move in slow motion for him. If he's playing with this confidence of whatever he does. He's playing with the confidence of King Midas that whatever he touches is going to turn to gold. And I mean, I can't say I'm wrong. I can't say he's wrong. He's got the perfect read so often. It's so cool to watch. But anyways, here comes Hellions and Reapers into the natural. There is a Sentry. There is really not a lot here. And, well, we're going to see the Adept fall fairly quickly. Probes are now going to go down. And you're looking for the lineup. One Stalker has fallen. The Adept is still not going down just yet. That's a dead Sentry, which means no Guardian Shield, nothing like that. Adept falls as well. And that's going to be enough. Oliveira, get the hell out. Stalkers arrive. But you got a Sentry, you got an Adept, and that is more than enough, especially now as more stuff is running onto the other side of the map. But now life is getting very, very dicey here because Neeb is on 3 gate. He's got a pylon on the right side. He's morphing in. And this is such a weird game because the natural's on the high ground for Oliveira. His second base is on the high ground. His Stalkers will continue to fall down. Ooh, that's a bit of mismicro there from Neeb. That means he should lose the second Stalker. Really no saving it. So Neeb is trying to snowball this. You know, he's building a lot of Stalkers. Oh, that's a massive surround from SCVs. Marines on the high ground. Now, SCVs will not kill, but now Stalkers have to warp in at home, and that's going to actually be massive for Oliveira because he buys time. It means he can take the natural. He's got a tank on the high ground that he will be able to eventually siege on the ramp. So Neeb is going for this weird build, right? It's 3 gate. You know, he doesn't have much behind that one. Well, Reapers are not going to kill through the shield battery all that well. As something died on the other side. Looks like 5 SCVs, but now the tank is on the low ground. And Oliveira, his economy's not the best spot. And, well, you just have to run these Reapers away as Stalkers and Sentries warp in. Stalkers, there we go. Should be at, oh, there we go. There's a dead Reaper, and now you got to 3-shot him. So, not a lot of economic damage potential, but it is a scout. And Oliveira will understand that Neeb, while he got a lot of damage done, you know, he got a lot of workers. Neeb's up 12 workers. I guess it was only 5, but, you know, deny the natural. The tech of Neeb is not good. He's got 3 gates. His Robo is only just now getting started. There's a Robo Bay on the way behind this, but the tech of Neeb is just not good. Oliveira is going to see that there is a third base. He's got a Banshee on the other side. Second one on the way as well. But here comes Stalkers, and this is going to be a little awkward, but folks, remember, there is no blink on these Stalkers. They can't do all that much. And Oliveira, he's just kind of going all in. Okay. Banshee's going to show up. He's going to see what there is to be seen. Takes a lot of damage, though. Not really what you want, even as he will get a couple probes. Oh, Stalkers in the middle map here. Neeb's going to lose. He's going to get a tank, but he's going to lose a couple Stalkers. Getting a tank is probably worth it here. He's just buying time. He wants disruptors out on the map. Banshee's going to fall here as well. So key components of the push coming in from Oliveira have been knocked down. And more and more Banshees on the way, and more tanks are on the way. Wouldn't even be surprised to see Oliveira pull a couple SCVs to, well, actually, he already has. To keep the tanks alive, to repair them up, to maybe to build some bunkers, something like that. As the tanks are now going to siege up. It's so important, actually. It feels like it's so important that Oliveira scans this observer out. He does not want to give Neeb constant pressure, constant vision on where his army is, so Neeb can get the setup properly. But okay, more SCVs have joined the fray. Stalkers on the right side. Again, they don't have blink. And they're looking for reinforcements, but they're not going to find them because Oliveira, he took the other side. He took the long way around, and that's actually going to work out so well for him here. In fact, one might say he took the road less traveled by. That is making all the difference as the bio trying to get on top of this Nexus. Now, shield battery overcharge has been popped. It's not as strong as it once was. 3 tanks can still punch through that pretty easily. And now, well, the Nexus is starting to get pretty damn low here. SCV's just repairing whatever they can. Stalks from the right side, but the tanks are shelling away at those pretty easily. One tank is going to fall eventually, but all the Stalkers on the right side have gone down. Here comes Neeb's potential break. Is he going to find what he needs? The bunker's still there. Tanks are getting repaired. The Stalkers are now starting to fall all the way down. And Oliveira, he punches right on through. SCV losses be damned. His army is just too powerful for Neeb to keep this third base alive. And, well, that's going to be a dead third. Neeb has to give it up, but he committed so much to this. And now double Banshee on the Colossus, tanks on the Colossus as well. This is a problem. And it is not a problem that Neeb has a very good answer to. He does not have a shield battery, and the natural does not have enough anti-air. That's a dead Colossus. And the Marines, yeah, sure, there's not a lot of them left. Not a lot of the SCVs left either. But the tanks, they will continue to run forward. And the third base, it feels like Neeb almost just needed to give it up. I mean, yes, it bought him time, but it was a really big problem. Now the pylon's going to get targeted down. Robo is still able to do things. Now that's going to be a second Banshee on the, or a second Colossus out, but the tanks are just targeting it down immediately. Probes are trying to do something, and they're going to get one of these tanks. They might even get the second one, but Neeb is losing so much economy here. In fact, he's not even going to get the second tank. The tank unsieges Stalkers. Well, they try to find something, but they have to run away because an unsieged tank does damage in the extreme. And Neeb behind us, he's trying to take his third again? Neeb, you got to hold right here. You don't have anything. You need all your money at the natural. But it seems like Oliveira doesn't think he can get much more done. Now the Adept stay forward. They get a tank. And now Oliveira's just kind of running away. He's always made back to where the tank is. There's tank sieged up here. And yeah, no. Now Oliveira, the classic 9-minute third base. But realistically, I don't think this, he got enough damage done. He killed the third base. He got a lot of workers where he's up in workers right now. He got enough damage done to the point where he is going to be able to, yeah, there we go. Neeb just taps out. He realizes that there's no point coming back into this game. He took too much damage, and Oliveira continues to be the savior of Kaizi Gaming. All right, folks, here we are. Got to win one map from either side to force it to an ace match. 2 maps ends the series right now in the bottom left in the blue for Kaizi Gaming, Oliveira. And the upper right in the red. He slew his opponent once. Can he do it again? Solar. God, sometimes my brain comes up with jokes that are just so bad, it's like not even worth explaining. It's like, you know. We yodeled Solar's name a little bit, which of course brings us to mind of Monty Python and the man who, brave Sir Robin, who found his calling in musical theater. Where you can sing, you can dance, and you will never soil your wow. Ugh. You will never soil your pants. I was going to make that reference with like no explanation, and then everyone would have been just very confused. So we're not going to see too much. I don't think we're going to see anything super crazy in the early game. Now, reminder, or Royal Blood. Why do I keep confusing the two? Royal Blood is a decent map for Terran. Dragon Skills is horrible. Royal Blood is a fairly good mech map. Once again, we talked about it. You take the middle map, you take the middle base, and it unlocks the bottom right side. If you're Oliveira, that's good. And Oliveira has shown mech play. We've seen one mech game and a whole lot of bios. I'm curious to see what he does go for here. He played bio twice against Solar, if I remember correctly. I think the mech game we saw was against Lambo. Yeah, I think that's true. So does he continue that trend? Does he flex some mech muscles, as it were? Ooh, he's feeling fancy. Connecting with the Reaper, tries to do what he can, but again, one Reaper, it's not going to do all that much. For now, though, more of the same. Oliveira feels very comfortable in the late game. He's not going for some sort of 3-1-1 opener. No. He's going 3CC as quick as possible. And that means he's going to get into the mid game just fine. And if he has an opponent that is, well, going to be a little less greedy, more so the better. It does open you up to like 34 drone roach timings, things like that. But that's not what Solar's going for. And for now, the game is going to go as we expect. So again, reminder, if whoever 2-0s this series, if that happens, series is over. You know, we don't go to an ace match. Oliveira or Onsyde or Solar have won the right to face Psystorm tomorrow. If that's the 2-0. If Oliveira and Solar each win a map, we have to go to an ace match. And remember, if Oliveira wins or if Solar wins game 1, that doesn't mean the series is over, even though technically their opponent is dead. Because this is the revive, this is the last map, each player has the opportunity to go kill their opponent. To knock both sides down to 0 lives. Which seems like, well, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty likely considering the way things have been going. But for now, Ellie and Banshee out of the 3CC play. I mean, this shouldn't surprise anyone all that much. And because, again, it covers all your bases. You know, Banshees are good defensively against roach pressure. They can put pressure on the map. Doesn't seem like there was a time when it felt like every Hellion Banshee play just got Cloak as a matter of fact because of just how things started like scaled economically. But it seems like we're not going to go spend the gas on it this time, so Oliveira can get a decently timed stim. And the Hellions on the north side, they're not going to get much done. One Banshee's done. Second one, of course, is on the way. And hey, they're going to get a Creep Tumor. That's nice. But there are enough queens at the front that it's not really going to deny all that much. So I guess the interesting thing about this game is, you know, again, Oliveira adding on his additional barracks, 4 all at once to go up to 5. He's taking his 3rd base. The interesting thing here really is the fact that Solar is playing more standard. He went roach play both games we saw of that previous series. You know, it worked for him once. It didn't work for him once. And in fairness, well, both those games went pretty late anyways. But this time he's going Ling Bane. You know, he's going, we'll see. Have to see if he goes more than that. He's going up to 5 gas. Okay, so this should be Hydra Ling Bane. Well, Ling Bane focused for a little bit, moving up to Hydras, moving up to Hive, you know, all that fun stuff. And this has been kind of the standard way you play this game. You know, you get a lot of Lings, you get a lot of Banes, you stay on creep, you get up to Hive, you get up to Lurkers, Hydras, whatever it is. And given the way the Grestfon map went, I wouldn't be super... That makes a lot of sense to me. It seems like Solar... Well, playing the Lurker into Hydra Ling Bane is a really strong way to play the game. You know, you force all these ghosts out, you force the Terran into that tech, and then you swarm over them with more units than the ghost can really deal with. It doesn't always work, but it seems to work out fairly well, and that seemed to be Oliveira's undoing in that previous game. Now, of course, Royal Blood is a map that has technically 8 bases, but really 7, because one of those is a gold base that's very hard for anyone to take. Certainly Azure, you can just kind of drop units on the other side of the mineral line. It's kind of a wide open position, but certainly it's, you know, 7-8 bases here. That does make it, you know, it's a big map. But the key thing is, again, you have that base on the right side. The Terrans can take that, unlock a couple bases for them. So it's not going to be this position where there are just quite as many attack paths that the Zerg can try to attack into later on. Is that free drone? There we go. A little bit of wrong pathing there. Solar, you went the wrong way. Drone does not pass go. Drone does not collect $200. There we go. Hydra Den on the way. 2-2 on the melee. Baneling speed just about done. So Solar is getting himself all geared up here. And Oliveira is being very slow into his tech. In fact, his armory is a little slow. You know, it's not timed out perfectly. Not that he's trying to really push right now. He doesn't even have combat shield on his Marines 8 minutes in. But, again, his 2-2 is a little bit delayed. But he's actually going to try to push on top of this one time. He's up 20 army supply, folks. He got a couple tanks. He was actually committing very hard to this. Normally, you might want to keep the tanks at home. A tank on the high ground, tank on the low ground. This is a dicey situation that Solar can find, but he's just going for a run by instead. And the Banshees, yeah, they're there. They're going to clean up these Lings eventually, but it's not going to be all that quick. So, okay, there are plenty of there are enough Marines, it looks like, that they will be able to deal with this. 10 SCVs have gone down. The Baneleys, they run forward. But, okay, this 4th base should fall, or the 5th base should fall. I think that much is a given. The question, though, is whether Oliveira can get more done. 5th base, oh, it's a kill, not even a cancel. And the Lings, they're looking to cut off reinforcements at the pass as well as they can. Lots of Baneleys stuck behind this mineral line. And it looks like the Lings looking to cut off reinforcements will be cut off by themselves. So Oliveira, this is a very scary push. He's got the base almost down, so he's got to have to commit right now. The bio at the front, very overstimmed. But nope, Solar just gives it up. Wants to buy more time. Wants Hive. Wants Hydras. Wants all of these wonderful and lovely things. So Solar just loses 2 bases. Doesn't lose many workers, but does lose 2 bases. And the push from Oliveira doesn't really seem to be stopping. The tanks continue to run forward. Now he's got 3 tanks here. Banshee's on the top of things. And it's the Banelings, I mean, they're going to run forward before the tanks are ready. But even still, that doesn't get all that much done. Now, there's a lot of creep that Oliveira is running through. It makes it very hard for him to split back on the left side. Banelings run forward. Oliveira actually stims forward on top of this. All the Banelings are going to go down. And Solar, he falls. Oliveira, all of a sudden, guarantees at the very least an ace match. The bottom left, folks, in the blue. 1 win here means they win the entire damn thing. They move on to Systron Maru. He is the world champion, Oliveira. And in the upper right, in the red, looking to force us to an ace match, folks, he is Solar. I am very glad to see the fact that Solar is, or Oliveira is not 2-raxing. He tried to do that in, what was it? When did he try to do that? I guess a lot of games today and yesterday. He tried to do that against Lambo, and Lambo scattered immediately and he died. It's like, oh, well, okay. They were massively far ahead. They just needed to kill Lambo once, and the series was going to be theirs. So not, I mean, in the context of that, it made sense to go. It made sense to go for the gamble, but you know, when your back's against the wall, don't go for 2 racks. It's not nearly as good as it once was. And yes, you know, I know the meme. You know, man, practice 2-3 racks is just so good. I swear I never see it lose, but I did see it lose today, and it didn't look all that good. I think with a drone change, it's actually, or the worker attack change is fairly significant. So again, 2 CC play or 3 CC play coming out of Oliveira in this map, and it makes sense. We are doomed. I don't think I'm doomed. I enjoy this. It's awesome. But we seem destined to play on the big maps. Oliveira plays into it well. Solar plays into it well. So it's 3 CC over and over and over again, which means the game really starts at 6 to 7 minutes for the most part. Well, for now. Means the Reaper gets to fool around. I wonder if we see Battlecruiser play out of Oliveira again. You know, it could be, it's decent on altitude. There's a lot of dead airspace you can play around with. It seems to be a little bit more powerful again, as it just has kind of fallen out of the meta, so Zergs aren't quite as prepared for it. But we're going to keep an eye out to see the gas counts, to see whether we see a fusion core going down. But for now, no, it's just going to be Hellion Banshee. Nothing super crazy. man can hope, a man can dream. But realistically, going BC play off 3CC is, it's possible. It's a thing. You can do it, but I don't know. It feels like you're leaving yourself far too vulnerable. So for now, it will be Hellion Banshee. Difference though, of course, this time it's going to be Cloak Banshees. Last game there was no Cloak, and I don't know if that's gonna. It forces spores. You know, it maybe forces. Well, Solar's not the type of player for the most part that's going to go for a quick player, but it does force spores, and that's something. You have to respond to it a little. It's got maybe a little bit more damage potential. But for now, Solar is actually massively supply blocked here. He's got to build 3 at a time. Hard capped at 66, and that's when there's incoming pressure. I mean, yes, the Banshees are on the way. And realistically, like, of all the incoming pressures that you're worried about, if you're supply blocked, Banshees are the ones that you're kind of the least, because you're probably already gonna have your queens. You're gonna be fine. So Spore is just about done. Lair on the way. I don't know how much damage these Banshees are gonna get done. Banshees last game got nothing. It was all about the push, the massive push coming in from Oliveira that somehow just knocked Solar down. I don't think I didn't see it coming until it was like, wow, all of a sudden he's got no Banes. He's got nothing here. He lost 2 bases. Crap, Solar's just dead. Okay. Oh, but Hellions are going to try to dive in the natural here, but no, they're going to see everything. And that's actually a lot of queens at the front. This might open up an opportunity for the Banshees to get something done. If there are 6 or 7 queens at the front, that means it's at most 1 queen per base. And oh, Drone's going to have to run away. 2 will fall as the Hellions dive in. They tickle with their flames, but that's about it. And here come the Banshees denying the 4th base back into the main base. They're going to go. So it's starting to get a little bit of damage here. Now, there is an Overseer. There are spores, but at this point, it's not about avoiding the detection when you're killing things. It's about avoiding the detection when you are not killing things, when you're trying to find positions and like dodging your opponent's vision so you can get Banshees in a position that where there is no defense. So, you know, they dive around once again to get some damage on the 4th base. They're not going to kill it, I don't think, but maybe it softens up for a push from Oliveira later on. But for now, Banshees, they got a worker or 2. Like, really the big deal though is they delayed the 4th base. They didn't kill one that was building. That would be fantastic. But at the very least, what they did was just catch the drone on the way. Deny the base from happening. And now, that means Oliveira's got his 3rd done. 4th base not yet done for Solar. 1-1 on the way for Oliveira. Very late compared to the upgrade. Well, not very late, but late compared to the upgrades of Solar. And again, we're seeing this thing where it's like single tech lab. So stim's done, then you get combat shields, and combat shields aren't really ready until, you know, 7:30, 8 minutes into the game, which if you're playing 3CC, that's fine. You're not really trying to pressure before then anyways. You don't have the production for it. But Solar is taking advantage of this. He gets the scout once again. He's got a Hydra Den on the way. 1-1, sure, but he's getting into his tech very quickly indeed. As Marine will trade itself for Baleen. That's fine. Hellions try to dive in, though, and, well, they're not going to find much. 2 more workers. But the fact that Hellions are still alive at this point in the game is kind of impressive. Part of it is, of course, the fact that Oliveira wasn't being super aggressive with the Hellions. And looking back at history for a moment, it's actually kind of fun. So it used to be Hellion Banshee was a much rarer idea because of how the economy scaled it. You tended to just kind of go Hellion Reaper, Double Reaper into Bioplay. But sometimes someone would go Hellion Banshee, and then the play was to try to soften the queens up as much as possible with the Hellions to make sure the queens or the Banshees could kill them, or at least make it hard for the queens to contest. Like, that was the play. And it's funny now as we see how the economy scales differently and how many more queens get made. Now it's, oh, well, you know, actually, you're never going to soften the queens up enough. So just find the Banshees on the edges, find some value. And in this case, hey, the Banshees are getting a lot of damage done on this perspective 5th base. In fact, where are the queens? They're just not responding whatsoever. So the tanks are going to siege up on the right side. And this is a scary push. Okay, well, Banshees might even just get the base down. It's going to force a cancel. The Banshee will fall, but that is massive already. That was a very far along 5th base, and the 4th base is dead. So Oliveira, he's kind of doing what he did in that previous game, just the death push. This time, though, I don't think he can turn it into another base at this point. It's not like there are 2 hatcheries right next to each other. The Lings and the Banes on the high ground are very difficult for Oliveira to push through. He's going to get surrounded if he moves in. So instead, he backs up. He got a base. That's very nice. He canceled the 5th base. It's fantastic. And now he's got his 4th base on the way. Shuyu says live Oliveira games on the way. Well, Solar is trying to make these dead Oliveira games and force an ace match. I don't know. We're going to find out. For now, Oliveira is in a great spot in this game. He killed the 4th base. He killed the 5th base. So Solar is briefly a 3-hatch Zerg. I mean, yes, he's building up the hatches right now, but Oliveira is economically ahead. He's down 4 workers, sure, but he's up a base, and that is more than any good God-fearing Terran will ever want to see. But of course, Solar, this is a massive map. Hive is already on the way. Oliveira got a base, and that's nice, but it's not this concentrating that we sometimes see in TVZ where the Zerg just back against the wall and can't make anything happen. But ooh, this is gonna be nice. It's not okay. Lings are responding in time. They will eventually clean this drop up. It's not cost effective, but they keep the base alive. Meanwhile, tanks on the left side here. Here come the Lings. They're gonna try to find their way forward, but this tank line is massive. Even still, the Lings get on top of things. The Marines have to run away, and so many tanks have fallen, but it's not going to do enough. And yes, the front line of tanks have fallen down, but there's another one behind that one. And again, this 5th base is in significant threat, but here comes the rest of Solar's army trying to dislodge Oliveira once again, but it's just going to be a dead 5th as the Queens, they're going to sacrifice themselves to their doom. Take me, not my babies, they say. Well, Oliveira's going to say fine. Sure. That's going to be okay. Shuyu, you are absolutely correct. Oliveira has taken 9 maps in the WTL this season. He took almost every map against Alpha X. He took like 5 maps against Alpha X. He's got 3 or so maps here. He took 5 maps against Shopify, 1 map against Alpha X. He's on his 3rd map here. He is showing us that IEM form is not just a fluke. Okay. Ling's main's now going to run forward. Tanks are not yet sieged, and that's a problem. Oliveira's running into the Banes. No, Oliveira. Well, that's awkward. He ran his Marines into the Banes and didn't target them down, and now this entire army is going to get cleaned up, and now Oliveira's the one that is on the massive back foot. That was, we were praising Oliveira's pushes. We were praising his micro, his macro, everything about him, but sometimes you misclick. Sometimes you try to target some Banelings down and instead run your Marines without firing anything straight into the Banelings of your opponent. That was kind of what Oliveira did. That's a little awkward. But of course, Oliveira does have 5 bases. He's got a planetary on the right side. I mean, he's still got decent tech. He's gonna siege up a base that's not mining. Oliveira, what are you doing here, bud? But anyway, he does have the Ghost Academy on the way. He's actually, despite losing that fight, his supply is doing really good. You know, he's up 10 army supply. He's equal in workers. He was actually up in army. Well, he was up in total supply rather briefly, and now he's got to push on the right side. Solar's army. Okay, there it is. The tanks are now going to siege up, but good shots from the tanks. They got +1 mech attack, +2 on the way. So they start to shred things just a little bit more. Now, of course, you do have to be careful about the lurkers. You don't really have the tech. Tank Liberator can kind of deal with it, but really what you want is the Ghost. So the Marines, they continue to try to get this base down, but they got to run away as the lurkers siege. But lurkers don't have range just yet. So I think the Marines can still find their way forward, maybe try to snipe this base down. But here come the Vipers. There's an Abduct on a tank, and that's going to be a dead tank. This base is so, yeah, there we go. Oliveira kills the base. And despite what was a rather painful loss of all of his Marines in the middle of the map, he seems to have kind of reset himself. He killed the base on the right side. Solar is still only a 5-base Zerg. Meanwhile, Oliveira is getting himself up to 6. So from that perspective, you know, Oliveira is in a great spot. His economy's doing fine. He's got his 3-3 done, +2 mech attack done. Ghost getting added in as a tank will fall. Just kind of meanders. I think that was a tank. Just meanders its way forward, but that's going to be fine. Oliveira's got... Well, he's lacking gas, actually. It's kind of funny. What was it? The game he lost versus Solar, he had a ton of gas and no minerals this time. Tons of minerals and no gas, but that should equalize eventually. And now Solar's trying to get his shenanigans started. You know, he's got a bunch of lurkers and a Nidus. That if that can get on top of an outlying base, mining or production, something like that, that'd be great. And he's going to start to try to swarm over the map. But the outlying bases, it's actually a problem for both sides. The outlying bases are so far away from kind of the central position that it's really hard to hold on to just so many positions at once. So Lings and mains are going to find their way onto this 5th base of Oliveira. It's going to go down. That's a quad drop of Marines into the main base here, and this is going to get a full unload. But in the main base, here comes the Lurkers as well. But it's going to be a hive. It's going to get sniped down once again. Lurker Den as well, so that's going to be massive, even as Oliveira does lose his base. So much of the tech, and it's going to get the spawning pool as well. So much now of the tech of Solar is just, it's not there. Infestation pit as well. Yes, there's a hive on the way, but layer on the way, but so much has to be remade. And the Lings, they filter up on the high ground. That's not going to work out. Tanks, though, they have to stay out of range. Lurkers are still a problem as this drop will get dealt with. And even as we say, that was pretty good for Oliveira. Supplies belie that one just a little bit. It's not quite as nice as you would like to see. Oliveira's lost 20 workers. He's down 20 army supply as well. But he got the hive. He got the spawning pool. He got the infestation pit. He got the lurker den. It's going to be so long before Solar is able to redevelop his tech in any way, shape, or form. But Solar he's the one that wants to get aggressive now on the right side here, taking down the next base of Oliveira, but it's not going to happen. At least not for a while. And Oliveira has bought himself so much time in this game. And he's going to need it because his economy, well, he's back up to 76 workers already. But he's not mining a ton right now. Only 2,300 minerals. Does not have much of a bank whatsoever. So he needs to max out. And he needs a little bit of time before Solar attacks into him again. But it seems like Solar is getting ready for just that. Hydrilling Bane with Vipers. Well, against the Mass Ghost Army, that is a pretty terrifying composition. But Solar will lose the base on the upper left. Looks like that was a kill, not even a cancel. And Solar is rich, but he's not quite rich enough that he can throw away 300 minerals, really closer to 400, willy-nilly. He hasn't taken any of the gold bases just yet. He's just taking kind of the bases on the edge of things. As now this is going to be a Dead Nidus on the left side, Dead Creep as well. And how does Solar punch out? Like, by the way, I really like the Nidus play that we're seeing from Solar here. It's not even Nidus play of, let me kill a base. No, it's the Nidus of, I'm going to be able to swing left and right across the map. Kind of like a Mothership Recall ideas now. Banelings try to get on top of the planetary. Where's the repair? We need the repair. And yeah, it's going to go down anyways. Felt like there was maybe some room. Not quite enough Banelings that if the repair had been there from the start, it felt like Oliveira could have kept that alive, but even still. There's an orbital. He's going to be able to mule it down. 15 workers fall, but Oliveira can build 7 SCPs at a time. He's got enough money for that. He's going to be okay. His economy will develop once again. And now we're seeing true Turtle Terran. This is Oliveira. This is the Oliveira that was winning EPT Cups. He strangled Solar in a couple EPT Cups leading up to Catapult. So we didn't see this playstyle against Reynor, but Oliveira, trust me, is very, very good at this. Now Liberators are going to get sieged or going to get abducted. Lightning Clouds on the text, but here come the Ghosts. And as the Banelings, they try to find their way forward, while the Banelings don't get much of anything. And Solar has to back up from here. Now, luckily for the Zerg, all Hydras won't get sniped down. You're allowed to take these non-committal fights just a little bit more, which is fantastic for the matchup. It's so nice. It means that, you actually can go and, well, you're not just going to turtle until one big fight and then you lose everything. But okay. Lings and mains, they're now going to run forward once again. Tanks are not sieged, and, well, that's a missed EMP right there, Oliveira. Not sure what you did, but now here come the Banelings, and this seems like this is going to be a dead base. Oliveira down in supply. Lings coming in from the right side as well. You love that one. Gets another tank. And the base actually does not go down. One of them does, but there's another orbital right here. Hey, Chicken Man. Thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub. Literally the first time that you've subbed to my channel. I'm honored. I'm flattered. And you've chosen the most important emote to spam. There is no bracket command because these games happened this morning. EMP is there on the Vipers, but the Blinding Cloud on the leading tank is going to be rather nice. But you got to run through a meat grinder here, Solar, and that's not what you want to do. Meanwhile, Nuke on the north side. How much damage is this going to get done? Not all that much. Solar finds the dot. He's not going to fall victim. So the most recent time Solar Nuke that made all the headlines, that got all the views on YouTube, was actually a bit unfair to Solar. In that, you look at it, you actually go back and look at the replay, and the dot is not on his army, and then it jumps. And I don't know if it's a StarCraft bug. I don't know if it's a replay bug, but I saw it, Winter saw it, other people saw it as well, where when he first scanned through the army, the dot was just not on his army. And then it jumped after his vision went away. So not quite fair for Solar there. This time, though, he sees the dot. He's going to be fine. Yeah, he really is the most unlucky pro player. But in this game, he's killing it. He's got 4,000 minerals in the bank, 3,200 gas. He has taken a base of Oliveira's, which is incredibly important. And while, you know, he doesn't have maybe the best creep spread, not compared to the game he won last time, he's still, I mean, he's dominated the map here. But okay, another break coming in. Blinding Cloud's on the tanks. They're going to go down. Blinding Cloud on the planetary, not even going to be needed because the Banelings, well, they're going to kill it. And Solar, well, he gets another mining base out. He actually doesn't even commit to the Banelings, which means he loses a lot more lings, but I guess if you're mining 3,000 minerals a minute, you're kind of okay with that. That being said, though, Oliveira, he's knocking down 2 bases of Solar on the left side, and that is really nice if he gets away with both of them. And by the way, folks, +3 Hellbats, they actually do a lot of damage. +3 Hellbats beat +3, or 3/3 Hellbats beat 3/3 Roaches, which is just the weirdest thing. It's not what you would expect. I mean, if you kite the Roaches, sure, but if you just send Roaches out to deal with it, it doesn't work out all that well for the Roaches. Meanwhile, Lurkers are going to arrive, and this mining base that Oliveira had, he tried to retake. Well, he's just going to lose a lot of SCVs. So, yes, Solar did lose 2 bases on the right side, but he has plenty of mining. Oliveira lost the most important mining base that he has remaining to him, and that's far more important. But okay, there we go. Here comes Solar once again. EMP is on the Vipers, but he gets an abduct on the Liberator. That's arguably one of the more important things, but there is just such a massive tank line here. Ghost as well, and Solar loses a lot, but he's going to be able to remax. 3 Infestors on the way, 66 Lings, 3 Hydras. And Oliveira's just not mining. 500 minerals a minute, 200 gas a minute, like a third of a base. He desperately needs one of these bases that he's not been able to find. So what does Oliveira do when his life's on the line? He goes for a death push. This has worked for him before. This is how he almost beat Reynor in game number 2. This is how he beat Solar in game number 2 of their Katowice series. This is how he beat Solar in game number 1 of their series right now. But I worry that this death push really doesn't have much going for it. Yeah, it's got 3/3 on the bio. Yeah, it's got a lot of ghosts, but you're sitting on creep for quite a while. Here's the Infestor runs forward, looks for the they're all clumped. Oh, the ghosts are all clumped. I keep expecting this just to be for a neural EMP, but seems like Solar just values the, well, honestly, it just values the vision that the Infestor gives, but also just values the fungal pop-up maybe even more. But for now, Lings, they find it's technically a mining base of Oliveira, but it's only got 3 mineral patches, so even that is, I mean, it's a problem, but how much is a problem really is it? Is Solar's maxed out once again. Infestor's just sitting there. It's just sitting there menacingly, waiting for Solar to pull the trigger here. So here come the Vipers forward. Oh, the scan actually kills the Infestor, so that's not going to work out super well, but these Blinding Clouds are massive as the Lings, they run forward. Ghosts, they split up against the Banelings. They do what they can, but all the tanks are going to go down. And yeah, folks, Ghosts are good. Don't get me wrong. Ghosts are fantastic as they snipe down a lot of these Hydras, but it's 54 supply. There's only so much you can do. Without the tanks to buffer, the Ghosts will just eventually fall. Lings surround them, and yeah, Ghosts are tanky as hell. The 2-shot Lings. These are 3/3 cracklings. It's not great. So again, things are going to move forward. Kaizi falls. Solar pumps his fist this time, and folks, we get our first ace match of the playoffs. In the bottom right, folks, in the blue, he's got 1 life remaining. He cannot lose here. It's a true ace match, best of 1. For Kaizi Gaming, the former world champion, it's Reynor. And in the upper left, in the red, for Onsyde Gaming, the IEM Katowice finalist, Maru. Ooh, Maru going for a build that dominated Atlanta, that mind-gamed Solar out of a tournament. And Reynor's gone pool first. Everything on the line here. Reynor's just taking no chances whatsoever. And by the way, I had every intention of casting EPT Korea tonight. But they're almost in the finals. That may just end up not happening. But anyways, so this build has a couple different options. Where do we on gas? We're on single gas right now. So this is going to be 2-rack. It's not proxy 2-racks Reaper, but it is like almost proxy 2-racks Reaper. So you put the barracks in the natural. You build a couple Reapers out of it. It's just a little faster. Dragon Scales is a short map, so you take advantage of that. And it also makes a little bit of sense, right? Because Dragon Scales is a pretty bad map for Terran. It's very hard for them to hold their third base. So if you just go and you get aggressive on it. Now, this is a problem. Reynor's going to run across the map. He's going to see, okay, well, there's double. He's going to see the Reapers pop out. He sees the double barracks in the wall. There's not a lot for him to punish, but this is not a full wall from Maru. And that is the big deal that we're looking at right now. If he can dodge the Reapers popping out, if he can catch him in production, which it seems like he's doing so. I think these Marines are going to wait until the Lings are going to wait until the second Reaper shows up. Oh, no, he shows them. And that's, yeah, this is awkward. So this is really bad for Reynor right now. He went pool first. That being said, Lings are going to find their way in, and that is going to delay the command center. I would have expected the Reaper just to be able to deal with this. But, I mean, it takes a second, but even still. But no. And in fact, this is going to turn out fairly nicely for Reynor. He delayed the natural. He got an SCV. He's forced the Reapers back home, and the pressure coming in from Maru is just not a thing anymore. So, yeah, he's going to get 2 SCVs. Far from being a bad position for Reynor. Now it's actually really good. And the question now is, what does Maru go from here? It's not a 4-racks all-in. That was the build that kind of dominated Atlanta. Wow, it's 2-racks into 2-racks Reaper into 4-racks stim timing. That's not what we have here. Instead, it's almost like turning into a 2-1-1. And now the unfortunate thing, if you're a Maru fan, is the fact that we saw a lot of these builds, versions of this build as a Katowice. Every single time, the Terran was in the upper left. As the Reapers are going to dive in, they're going to get one worker. They could probably kill the Spore, but they're going to get a second worker. They're going to kill off some Lings, and they will lose their lives, but even still. Spore cancel, 2 workers. For one Reaper that doesn't have a lot of longevity in this game, yeah, it's actually fairly nice. But anyway, talking about what we saw, I feel like it was until Oliveira went for, I want to say it was Oliveira, maybe it was Maru. It took until I think it was Gressvon, maybe, in the playoffs where we finally had a Terran go, and they actually were able to end up on the bottom right instead of the upper left, and they were able to go for this build without having their add-ons exposed. But anyway, 2 more workers go down. Nice job there, Maru. Now there's a third barracks on the way, halfway done. Stim halfway done. eBay on the way. So it seems like we're going to see almost like just a 3-1-1 idea coming out of Reynor, or coming out of Maru, excuse me, in this game. Now Lings are going to see, oh, okay, yeah, Tech Lab is researching. That should surprise him, but it's not going to be some sort of weird mech transition, which, knowing Maru, wouldn't put it past him. I want to say he has a version of this build that goes like Blue Flame Hellion out of this, which is very weird, because you do commit, again, all that money to 2 barracks early on, but it's one of those things that works because who the hell would expect that? But folks, Stim is just about done. Bailey Nest only just now getting started. And Reynor's going to see the Marines on the map. He's going to see them running out here, but does Maru move out with this? He's building 5 Marines at a time, but yeah, he's going to put pressure on with this. He doesn't have combat shields just yet, does not have +1, but that's still a ton of Marines. Looks like even more than you would get out of a standard 2-1-1. And, well, Reynor's going to have to make sure he's in the proper position. He's pumping Lings now. He's on 56 workers. It's a fairly good position. You know, you got 3 bases of minerals, you got just enough gas to keep yourself alive, and the Lings are actually going to find the Marines as they pop out, which means this is not going to get that much done. But now, okay, combat shield's on the way, +1 as well. I like what Reynor's doing. He got a decently timed layer, but he's delaying his Evo Chamber. It's just all about this Baneling speed. And the difference for a Zerg between having Baneling speed and not having Baneling speed as you try to defend is just absolutely massive. Baneling speed is arguably more important than getting your 1/1 upgrades, or even just your Carapace upgrade. It allows the Banelings to actually attack the Terran, to make contact with them, even on creep. And otherwise, the Terran just often snipes them down, and you just trade so cost inefficiently. But Ling's looking for a bit of a counterattack here. They're going to get a free Marine, but I don't know how much more they're going to get done as Maru stims forward. That should be a dead Baneling on the ramp that we don't really see at the moment. Yeah, that's going to get canceled. And now Reynor coming in from the backside here. There's a tank with this army, right? Yeah, there's a tank with this army. So this is a terrifying high ground position that Maru is going to try to find. Banelings are done, but there is no Baneling speed, not just yet. Looks like it's about 15-20 seconds out. So that is the timing that Reynor is trying to buy. If he can buy that, he's going to be in a great spot. Remember, Maru is only on 2 bases. He does not have a 3rd command center. This is all in, coming in from the Korean Terran. So Reynor just needs to buy time. 5 more Banelings on the way. Baneling speed is done. Carapace not done just yet, but it will be done soon. Let's see what he can make happen here. Queen's trying to get on top of the medevac. Ling's going in on the left side, but it's so hard to get on top of that high ground. That being said, Queens, they spend a lot of their energy, but they do get that medevac very, very low. And here comes Reynor moving on top of things. The tank's going to get targeted down very quickly. Maru's got to give up the ghost. He's got to run away. And this first push coming in, it's not enough. It's not going to work. There are 2 more tanks where that came from. More and more Marines where that came from. And while Reynor has put himself in a pretty damn good spot to hold this, it's still dicey. In fact, with all the Queens having to get pulled to the front, he's having to build a macro hatch and a 4th base just to make sure he has enough larvae to defend as the tanks siege up. Not a Queen has died just yet, but there's very little energy at the front of things here. The Banelings, they run forward. Tanks should get those down. Again, Reynor's doing a great job of dealing with reinforcements. And again, he flanks in from the backside. The tank on the sieged up position. Oh, Baneling almost makes a massive connection, and the tank will fall. So again, Reynor holds on here. Now he's swarming forward. Now Carapace is done. Now it's a little bit easier for him to take the fight, and he's going to force the pickup. The tank has to go down. The tank has to run away. And these Marines, well, there was only so much room for them, so they will go down. Maru scans the left side, wants to make sure that there's not a 5th base, but he should know that there's a 4th base there. He saw the creep. So the drop is going to show up here, but the Queens, they arrive. And Reynor coming again. Multiple sides once again. Queens from the top, Lings the Banelings from the right side. But the tank is in the medevac, so it can't really do much of anything here. Maru tries to target the Banelings down well as he can. He gets 1. And the Queens, they sally forth off creep. And I love what Reynor's doing. He's just building more and more Queens. You know, it feels weird to go up to like 15 Queens, but in a game like this, it's just what you got to do. And that means Reynor's been able to squeak out a couple more drones. He's on 62 now. His army supply is in the lead. He's got attack on the way. In fact, it's ahead of the armor coming in from Maru. And despite there being not a lot of energy on these Queens, they've had to spend a lot on transfuses. Oh, okay, Reynor coming in from multiple sides here. Where are the Banelings? The tanks are not sieged just yet, and that's a lot of Marines going down. 1 tank will fall here as well. 2nd tank's going to go down. Queens knocking down the Liberators as well as they can, but you can't go too far off creep here if you're Reynor. You're going to lose a lot of Queens in the process. They are by far your most important defensive tool, so Reynor's done a great job of keeping Queens alive over the course of this game, but now he's going to lose a lot of them, and that is a scary position. Coming in from Maru, so Reynor goes for a counterattack. Once again, he can't deal with this one just yet. His Banelings are not ready. He's morphing in 12 of them, 9 only on the field, and the counterattack, again, deals with some of these Marines. So again, Reynor's going to look for the flank. He's going to look for the surround. As the Liberators, they siege up. Queens try to deal with that one. There's 1 tank here. Lings get on top of the backside, but the Banelings, oh, okay, there we go. Good job. Reynor does not sacrifice all the Banelings into it. And okay, Kaizi, there we go. Look at that. They're cheering him on. Reynor clears the push once again. I love that picture-in-picture, by the way. That's awesome. Because, of course, by the way, I forgot about this, but I believe Kaizi is F91's team. Or Jousta's team. Maybe it's DBG. Yeah, it is Jousta's team. So we see him cheering on Reynor right now. He wants to make sure that this happens. And it is looking closer and closer. Reynor, he still has his 4 bases up. He's now up to 70 workers. Carapace +2 on the way. He only has a single Evo. You know, he hasn't been able to afford double Evo just that. He's been on the ropes. But it feels like now, finally, Maru's starting to run out of steam just a little bit. The drop on the left side gets found out. Drop on the right side, the push. Well, there are Queens here to defend. And now it's in the main. Maru is trying to win it with multitasking, what couldn't work earlier, but there's a Spore here. It's going to get one of these medevacs before it even unloads everything. And the Queens were there just to buy enough time because here comes Reynor. Ling's into the main base. He's going to be able to swallow this one whole. And yeah, he's supply blocked for a second. That's fine. In fact, he feels good enough. He's on 75 workers. He's on, well, really only 4 gas, it looks like. 3-4 gas. But he's adding an infestation pit. And I feel like this might just be for Hive and Adrenal. All right, the Adrenal is, it's a little bit more expensive than getting plus 3 attack, but it is an additional 3 attack upgrades for specifically for your Lings. As again, Reynor cleans up some of the push here for Maru. You gotta wonder at what point does Maru go and does he lift off onto the third? Because you can't figure, you can't imagine he's mining much in his main base anymore. I mean, his supply is decent. He's doing a good job of that. But yeah, there we go. Reynor, massive counterattack. He's gonna go try to check into the third, but there's nothing there. And yeah, this is a wall. Fine. There are Banelings here now. Reynor can bust this right on down and force Maru to be even more all in than he already is. The Banelings, they flood forward. The tanks, they're not sieged just yet, and Maru slips backwards well enough. But that means the tanks are just woefully undefended. There's one of them only still firing. The Queen's knocking down the Liberators as well as they can, but the Queen's starting to run out of everything, life, health, energy, as the bio they runs forward. Maru is doing what he can here. All the Queens are dead. All the anti-air is dead. This run by from Reynor, it's got to be everything because this army from Maru seems so hard to deal with. There's just nothing to deal with the Liberators, but it doesn't matter if there's nothing to deal with the Liberators if there's nothing on the ground that fights. Maru, 35 STVs, 58 army supply. He's got 1-1, no additional upgrades on the way. Carapace is done in 9 seconds, and the Lings, they come flooding in once again. The Queen's just out of range, doing what they can. The Liberator force is going to go down, and folks, it seems like the back of Maru's push has been broken once again. Yes, army supplies are low, but Maru only has 35 workers. He does not have the economy. He's only on 1-1. The game continues to get better and better for Reynor. He's on 71 workers. But again, he's not. He doesn't have a bank. It's spending everything here to make this happen. As the Banelings again run in, it's all on these Liberators from Maru, and they're just not doing enough. Yes, they're killing Queens. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But they can't fight them. They can't fight the Marines. They can't fight the Lings. They can't fight the Banes. And the Queens find good sieged up positions here. Bio trying to get on top of the Queen. The anti-air, that is just so important. The Queen keeps repositioning. The Marines, the Bio in these medevacs, they cannot. They can't drop off. They're stuck in the air, and that means the Queen, this one Queen, will just slowly, ever so slowly, knock the Liberator down before actually the Queen's gonna go down. The Liberator's still standing strong. And now, okay, Maru can unload it in the main base. Wait, can he do it here? That's another dead Queen. The anti-air continues to fall down. Mining in the main base is gonna get knocked down in the extreme. Maru, his supply is somewhat equivalent. That's a nasty position for him to find himself in before the Banelings arrive, and okay, this Liberator should fall. Finally should go down as the drop, well, tries to find a little bit more. These medevacs are so low, but Reynor's not really targeting them down just yet. And Maru? Wait, when did Maru get a 3rd CC? I would have thought that was from over from his main, but I don't think it is. Maru seems to have 3 orbitals now. I mean, I don't know how long it stays alive here, but the fact that Maru squeaked out a 3rd base is actually insane. But Reynor now, he's the one that gets to get aggressive. He's got an infestation pit on the way. He's feeling somewhat comfortable and transitioning into the late game once again, plus 2 melee on the way as well. So he's going to be 2 upgrades up. He's got the bottom left base. Again, 71 workers. Economy going like gangbusters, mining 1,000 more minerals a minute compared to what Maru has. And now, tons and Lings and Bans on the left side and the right side trying to crush this army. Tanks, well, they're just going to get dealt with very quickly by the Lings here. So Maru is going to lose this mining base that he has, the only mining base realistically that he has. Tanks are going to go down as the Lings are going to find that one on the high ground, and the Liberators just don't find the value that they want. Yes, Maru has a drop on the bottom side, but well, oh, that's so many. The entire economy of Maru just sitting right here, and Reynor knocks it down. 19 SCVs, all that remain, and Maru taps out. Reynor the ace forces Kaizi Gaming on to the next round where they're going to fight Psystorm. And we see everyone from the WTL team. They're cheering that one on. Well played, Reynor. That is a push that has been giving Zerg conniptions.